David,
sorry, did you have? Sorry, I keep
just maybe
not acknowledged.
2 minutes on the no, not at all. Thank you just for the opportunity. Just 2 minutes on the. I think it was an important point raised by David Durkin there on the root causes of pain. You know, and of course. For many chronic pain patients, the root cause may be known, so it may be rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, maybe an accident, maybe surgery, post-operative pain. And of course, if possible, the best approach is always to try and address the root cause to modify the underlying disease and have a disease-modifying approach to the treatment of the pain. But it is also very true that for a great many chronic pain patients, the root cause isn't known, particularly for neuropathic pain patients, for example, where there is no underlying disease or incident or accident that you can trace that pain back to. That type of pain, particularly neuropathic pain, is really, really difficult to treat, and it's refractory to many of our current medications. There is some evidence that cannabinoids may be helpful to some subset of those patients. You know, is it disease modifying? That's debatable. We know that the root cause of that type of pain is peripheral and central sensitization, the increase in synaptic plasticity in the pain pathway, the strengthening of synaptic connectivity in the spinal cord and in the brain. And there is good evidence that cannabinoids can reduce those things, so they can reduce peripheral and central sensitization. Is cannabinoids and cannabis a panacea, a cure-all for everything? No, absolutely not. And it's not going to be suitable for every patient or even every chronic pain patient. But it could be an option for those patients who are refractory to current treatments, who don't do well on current treatments, or who are experiencing unacceptably high levels of side effects, maybe from current treatments as well. I wouldn't recommend that anyone ignores the advice of their consultant. I would place an awful lot of importance and emphasis on the consultant and on the expertise of the consultant, and would certainly recommend that all patients would heed the advice of their consultant in this or in any other arena. Absolutely, there will be some patients. You alluded to one patient that you knew of who didn't respond well, and that doesn't surprise me. I don't know anything about that patient or about the type of cannabinoid product they took, but it is going to be dependent on many, many factors as to whether someone will respond or not. You know, the type of patient it is their medical history, what type of pain exactly are we talking about, for how long have they had it, do they have any other comorbidities, and what type of cannabinoid product are they taking, what's its exact composition, THC versus cannabidiol versus other constituents. So those things need to be taken into account and known, and of course we can't scientists make any conclusion based on low-end numbers and you know, individual patients, or we have to look at objectively at the evidence in larger patient groups and studies. And whether THC and cannabidiol themselves are enough, or whether medical cannabis and the plant extract is needed, is kind of a big question, I think, you know. And there is some belief that there's an entourage effect with the plant. So what I mean by that is that the combination of cannabinoids and constituents in the complex plant material may, in some way that we don't fully yet understand, come together to give a greater therapeutic benefit in certain indications, greater than just THC or cannabidiol on their own. Now, that is subject for research. More research is needed on that, for sure. But there is some evidence that in some cases that's the case, that there can be greater therapeutic benefit by virtue of having the complexity of the plant and the entourage effect versus just one or two of the molecules on their own, and that the molecules can interact. So cannabidiol, which doesn't induce euphoria or the same type of psychoactive effects that THC does, can attenuate and turn down and dial down some of the psychoactivity of THC. So that ratio is really important. My final comment would be, I think regulation is key. It's not for me. My expertise isn't in the legalities or how exactly this House or this government would go about that regulation. But I do believe regulation is very important. And to what extent do you go with that, and to have continual monitoring and to be able to know with certainty what patients are taking and what doctors are prescribing, and to regulate that tightly. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Finn. And Deputy Durkin did not have the last word in the committee.
Time yet, Chairman. Don't encourage me.
On behalf of the committee, I would like to thank Dr. Padder O'Grady, Deputy Jean O'Kenny and Professor David Finn for attending and engaging with pre-legislative scrutiny on this bill. Thank you very much. As there is no other business, this meeting of the Joint Health Committee is adjourned until Thursday the 13th of April at 9 a.m. when we will hear the views of Department officials on the cannabis bill. Thank you very much.